Something I'm always looking for when I'm thinking about buying a watch is the ability to compare and contrast and have context around a particular watch, so I can use that as part of my decision-making process. And it's pretty rare that you can go into a store, especially these days, and have all of those watches in the same place to look at next to each other when you're thinking about whether you want to pick one up. So I thought I have got four similar but unique Seiko divers here that I'm going to do just a real quick comparison so you can see them next to each other, how they wear, and how that might impact your decision whether you think it's going to be the right watch for you, because oftentimes you never know until you get them home. And especially if you're ordering online or whatever and can't put it on in the store. So we got the Seiko SKX007J, we got the King Samurai Save the Ocean Dark Matter Ray SRPF79, we have the Marine Master 200 SPB083 Great Blue Hole special edition with the blue dial, and we have the Seiko Sumo SPB101J, the black version. So this has got a 43.5 millimeter case diameter, 44 millimeter case diameter, 44 as well, and then 45. Obviously, there's varying degrees of lug-to-lug distance, which makes a huge difference in its wearability, and also the case designs are different, and that influences it as well. So the SKX007 has a pretty shallow or short lug-to-lug distance, so that makes it very wearable. Also, the King Samurai, again, although it's a 44 millimeter case size, the lug-to-lug is pretty short, but it needs to be because it's got some pretty straight lines here, really angular case cuts, and doesn't wrap the wrist the same way that the Marine Master 200 does, which has a longer lug-to-lug. I think this one is 51 millimeters or so, 50 to 51. So it needs to have that curved case design to offset those higher specs. Similarly, for the 45 millimeter case size of the Sumo, it's got a 52.5 millimeter lug-to-lug, I believe, which is, you think about that, and this put me off from buying the Sumo at first because I thought that's just too big. But it does have this design that minimizes the impact of that longer lug-to-lug. And all three of these wear extremely well. So I'm going to pop them on each one at a time, starting from the smallest. SKX007. Don't need to say too much about that. Fits really well. Kind of the perfect size for an everyday watch. King Samurai. Again, this is now a 44 millimeter case size, but a pretty relatively short lug-to-lug, so it wears really well on the wrist, especially paired with this strap code Hexad bracelet, which fits the design of the case extremely well. It's a perfect match, and it's a perfectly wearing watch. So now we're getting into the different designs, case designs of both the Marine Master 200 and the Sumo, and its longer lug-to-lug distance. Both of these are really sort of the same design language of the 1968 diver put out by Seiko. And you can see that even though it is a over 50 millimeter lug-to-lug, it does not look too large on my wrist, which is around a 7-inch wrist. You can see how the case doesn't hang over the edges of the wrist because of those curved lugs, and fits well and kind of melts into your wrist like that. So, and we'll go to the last one, the Sumo, which is the largest of the four. But even it wears really well, and I have no issues with it, and did not regret this purchase one bit despite my initial apprehensions. So if you are thinking about any of these, particularly the larger three, here they are all next to each other. Get that put up here like that. Yeah, they look pretty good together, don't they? Nice little group here. And if you have any questions about their wearability or the size, or anything about them for that matter, let me know in the comments, and I will try to answer as best I can. Thanks for watching.